Hello? Hold on. Give me one second. Give me 1 second.
What's up, man?
Could you hear me, bud?
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
what's up, man?
You hear me okay?
How you doing? Doing good, man. I'm in a sketchy back stairwell because I'm in my job, but I was like trying to make this work still.
Hey, you know what, man? That's okay. You look good. You sound good. And I know your time is valuable, man. So
Thank you, man. I
I want to
appreciate
get
that.
straight into it.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely, man.
So right off the bat, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Health and Wealth Show. I'm your host, Henry Aaron Westbrooks. You already know what it is if you've been tuned in. And if you're new to the channel, if you're new to what you're seeing, make sure you join the family. And today we've got a special guest with us. Anthony,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna let you take the floor right here. I want you to tell the people who you are, what you got going on, man. And then I got a bunch of questions I want to ask you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, my name is Anthony Duluc, and I'm an actor as well as a fitness influencer on Instagram. I like to do a big balance, nice little balance of both. I was born in the Dominican Republic, but I came when I was a small child, so I've been a native New Yorker my whole life, and I've just had some very significant events happen to me recently that I thought were very noteworthy, and I just wanted to share my story of aspiring entrepreneurship, and definitely entrepreneurship with the masses.
100%, man, 100%. So
So,
you're doing the music thing from the DR, right? So just break down, because everybody who listens to my show, everybody who watches this show knows that it's all about the entrepreneurial endeavor. It's all about finding and discovering and living up to your true purpose. So what does it mean to you, Anthony, to be an entrepreneur? And how do you view entrepreneurship as, we're moving forward into 2021?
fantastic. Yes, what it means for me to be an entrepreneur is I feel like the the new wave of aspiring artists all see themselves and empower themselves as being their own entity, their own brand, and they try to make the most out of their situation. We are no longer actors, we are artists. We are no longer writers, we are complete and total artists, and we should be able to capitalize on ourselves as much as we can, seeing how people make a lot of big bucks when it comes to us, and we just need to be completely on track of it. So when it comes to being, let's say, you're acting or being an actor, when it comes to you being able to market that on Instagram or to your social media platform, or being able to market a few other things that you do, well, then everything in your brand coincides into you being this one brand, right? And I think it's very, very important to, adapt with the world and the way the world's turning, so that you can also be inept and make the best out of your opportunities.
Definitely, I would agree with that 100%. Comment below.
Yes, sir.
If you agree with that. Make sure you hit the like button. And listen, guys, what I hear from Anthony right now, and you tell me if I'm wrong, man. It's like entrepreneurship is like the next best thing. But it's now. But it's the hottest thing out almost. I mean,
it is.
From my perspective, 100%. You see, being an entrepreneur 5-10 years ago is kind of like, it had a different connotation, right? So now, though, with this whole transition into the digital age, just with everything going on in the world, it's been a revolutionary. And
absolutely, and having a platform matters, and being able to speak your voice matters, and being able to understand that.
So when did you realize, I'm going to be an entrepreneur? When did you realize this? When did the switch happen for you? And what were some of the first things that you kind of did to really set yourself up for where you're at now?
Well, for me, I try to really get out of that mindset. It was all before the social media era, where I had gone to these acting schools per se, and I just, I never really, I don't know, I didn't really think much of it. I was just thinking, oh wow, would I just love to be on set for life and things like that, after I had finished school. But I think what ended up happening is I started to see how I actually ended up putting myself in a box by limiting myself, and really thinking to myself, well, Anthony, what else do you want to do? Like, what is your livelihood? Like, what's your day by day? Are you really going to depend on a career where you're chosen based on the most, they cannot take me because my nose is too big, but I could be the best actor. Like, in these subjective artistic fields, you have to make the most out of your situation. So what I end up doing is I started to do, I'm like, okay, well then what else am I passionate about? How else am I going to have an edge? How else am I going to bring my whole brand up together? And then I thought it to be fitness. And I was like, okay, got it. And then I started becoming I'm known as the handstand guy. people start calling me Handstand Papi for some reason. I don't know, but it kind of caught on, and I kind of like the name. But I do a lot of those weird little calisthenics and things like that. But then I started to notice that of the human psychology when it comes to being in shape is that that's a market that never goes away. Everybody always wants to have that in terms of their own self-improvement. And then I found that just repetition, just people seeing that you're doing it every day really does inspire people to get up and get moving and make their lives better. And I'll tell you right now, once you hear I went to the gym because of you, there's no going back. Like you are now a soldier and a man of the people, and I have just been trying to grow both at the same time. Now you're probably wondering, okay, so you mind if I continue?
Oh, continue, man. This is great. This is great.
Oh,
Hey,
cool, man. Cool.
hey, if you haven't already,
Yeah, no, I got you, man. I got you.
drop a comment below, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button. Man, this
Cool,
is
man. Cool, man.
Viral.
So basically, after COVID, everything kind of shut down, and it was just this incredibly tough situation for artists and all people doing these things. So, I actually ended up getting this crazy injury. It's not really that crazy. It's just crazy because it's never truly happened to me. I have gotten hit by a car when I was like a younger person or whatnot, but this was when I was an adult. I was trying to do a Korean dip, as they say. I think it's like when it's this crazy move, and then my bicep tendon snapped. It snapped. It sounded like really hard, and my bicep retracted all the way up to my shoulder almost. Now pause that story. A year ago before the pandemic, I had auditioned for the Jimmy Fallon show. I had auditioned for the Jimmy Fallon show. It was this, showcase your talents, and I had submitted an audition. And look, check out how this works. Nobody got back to me, not even a thank you, not even a confirmation that they even got the email. But hey, you have to just keep moving. You have to keep moving forward, and you have to not let rejection affect what you feel is your value, right? So what did I do? I kept going. Now hold that story. Year later, broke my bicep tendon in a time where I needed exercise the most. So I ended up getting it reattached. The most painful experience in my entire life. And then I began to be sedentary. Oh man, they had to drill through the bone, and they had to put anchors on it. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. My pain tolerance now, Leo. I stubbed my toe, man. I'm falling asleep, bro. Right after, bro. So
wow.
So a month or two. So I thought to myself, what am I rushing for? Because the timetable for this injury to get back on it, because my entire livelihood was doing fitness on Instagram. That's what I was known for. And then all I was getting was like a bunch of like pity, and I didn't like that feeling. I'm like, yo, I have to get out of this for myself. Now I could have taken my time, right? And I've learned so much value from this event because I didn't know what I was rushing to get back for, but I was like, you know what? When do we do rehab? Two times because that's all you can afford. I'm like, wait a minute. But what if I did it more? Is it better for me, or are you just giving me this program because, or are you just giving me this program because you don't want to have this sleep? No, I would go 5 times around the clock. I wouldn't even eat anti-inflammatory foods of like how I was like, no, I need to get back to the way I was. And I ended up doing a pull-up in about a month and a half when it was really supposed to be 4. I was doing handstands in a couple of weeks, and I was showing everybody. And then this is how life works. The Jimmy Fallon show gets back to me and says, "Hey, Anthony, I just want to let you know we never aired that segment. And Jimmy really liked your audition. Are you available this Monday?" This was told to me on a Friday. And I was like, Mom, I was telling my mom, I was like, Mom, so if I tell them I just got off this very gruesome type of injury that a year ago wasn't there, I did not want to lose the opportunity, but now I had the pressure of the Tonight Show and being able to, family and friends and everything. And then I was like, okay, all right, Anthony, you have to go ahead. You have to suck it up. And you have to find a way. And for that entire weekend, I was frustratingly stayed home. Like, I have to regain that coordination, that balance, whatever it was. I was like, I needed to be ready for that moment because, hey, just like the people always say, oh, J. Cole is so lucky because J. Cole got a chance. Jay-Z got a chance to listen to him, or Big Sean, Kanye West. People are so lucky. No, lucky is where opportunity meets repetition. Like you have to put yourself in a situation that when you do get to those situations that are like these 1 in a million, that you're prepared. And yeah, it's when preparedness. I forgot what the a quote is, but it was almost like, yo, don't wait for that opportunity for you to act on it. You have to stay prepared. So I ended up doing it. It ended up coming out even better than I had mentioned. It ended up coming a lot better than I had even thought. It was a total hoot. Got a little bit of press of it afterwards. Got my I got my story published in the Columbia.org for orthopedics, which is great, by the way, because when it comes to parents and things like that and family and DR, they don't really understand accolades like that. So when they see like a medical site, they're like, oh wow, like, some things are actually happening. And man, ever since then, man, I've been received the very, very lucky few of like opportunities where I could name even one of them where I was flown to Colorado to go to be in a national commercial for this kitchen appliance oven, when they could have hired a New York actor. And I think to myself, like, wow, like I can't, like, what started was a path of just what I consider to be incredibly adverse, because it's my entire livelihood and my first major surgery, and it was all during COVID, and I wasn't working, and depression and all these things, man. And ever since, man, I've worked with Venom, the UFC brand. I was in a boxing commercial, and then I worked for Amazon just last week, and it's just been, and it's just been a very, very, and I just feel very blessed to just have all of these opportunities. And I just wanted to share my story, somebody that's coming from, who, needless to say, people are looking for inspiration during this COVID season. There are a lot of things that are happening, and a lot of things that there are still a lot of opportunities. It's just very, very difficult to find them. And if I could offer any type of advice for, entrepreneurship or strengthening your brand and things like that, is the energy that you put out, you always get back. And I always give myself the responsibility to show my A face and to show the world my very best day in, day out. I don't take days off of my social media. I continue to market myself. I continue to capitalize on myself. And that story will forever always be with me. And I think just the Jimmy Fallon story, other aside from the things I've done after, is just the icing on the cake in terms of the story that really started with the hardest year in many people's lives, including mine. Ooh, that's a mouthful, right?
Wow. Well, sure. That was straight fire. Some of you probably need to run that back. Some of you probably need to literally stop the video, stop the audio right now, and just go back and re-listen to what you just heard. And you might even need to take out your paper and your pen, or your voice memo, and hit record.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
Play it while you sleep. Listen, you guys gotta listen, man. There's some key things that Anthony just brought up, and we're gonna talk about them briefly. Hey, where can people find you on Instagram, man, or social media?
Oh yes, sir. It's I am Duluc. IAM DULUC. Worked really hard to build that as well.
That's it. So you heard it.
Yep, I am Duluc. My name is Anthony Duluc. Duluc is my last name.
So, man,
kind of a mouthful, right? I don't even know how to begin to dissect that.
That was just like, literally, we could stop this video. We could stop it right now, and you all just got a bag full of gems right there. I'm gonna take it from where I'm. Listen, guys. Just to summarize what you just heard in case you're just like, whoa, right? In case you just don't even know what you just heard because it was just so enlightening for you. I'm gonna just bring up some key words for you to just research, dissect, and really some things to ponder on. Listen, my man Anthony's talking about some fundamental things here. Number one, the mindset. You guys already know about the mindset. What is your mindset right now? What is your mindset? We're talking about limits. What? Limits. I'm gonna breeze through these real quick because my man Anthony's got the floor. We're talking about passion. We're talking about the ability to keep moving forward. We're talking about rejection. All right, we're talking about when you're injured, when you're down, and when you're out, when you're hurt, and when you're broke. Literally. We're talking about preparation, opportunity, adversity. We're talking about being blessed, inspirations, what inspires you. We're talking about everything that you need to be focused on if you want to be successful. Man, Anthony, thanks so much for the value. Dude,
Absolutely, man.
I just want to bring those, because as I was listening to all that, I just wanted people to realize, number one, you know what you're talking about. Number two, there comes with this entrepreneurial endeavor a level of consciousness that I see that you have. Number three, it's like some of you can't even articulate where you're at, what you've been through, where you're headed, and that right there is a problem. And the list goes on. But see, here's the thing: when you got people like Anthony, who you guys got to mind you this, my man, living. You guys gotta realize this. Living example. I don't bring anybody on the show who doesn't walk it how they talk it. Listen, there's no excuse. Anthony, man.
There are no excuses. There are no excuses, and
What do you gotta say?
limitations.
Say, man, because I have a million questions I can ask you, but I want you to just talk to the people, man, because I know you have a lot of value to share right now.
Cool, man. Cool, man. I just wanted to elaborate on those key points that you had said. And when it comes to your limitations, what I don't see is that always comes from some type of standard. And although it's easy and it's comfortable to be safe, just know that the greatest decisions that you ever make in your life are the ones that are on the riskier side, and all the ones that are a lot worthwhile. Because if it was that easy, everybody would be everywhere that you want it to be. But why is there always a very select few that you really look up to? Like, what are the qualities that they share? Like, you have to really truly be around people that enlighten you and inspire you. And I don't know, life is much too, especially with this year, it's taught you that life is far too short for you to deal with mediocrity. I'm not saying that everybody needs to be this all-star, that everybody needs to be an expert or something, but they have to make you feel like you could keep going. And if people aren't there supporting you, well, then you have the wrong people on your side, because I'll tell you, that is the most important part. Everybody likes to say there is no award for you getting there by yourself. Kid you wrong, your favorite actor is gonna go and win that speech, and then they're gonna play the trumpet to have him to have me, because it's too long of how many people it took for him to get there. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to, self-assess, to start over. Sometimes you have to break the ship down for you to build a better fortress, for you to build a better foundation, and it's okay. And your self-improvement as an entrepreneur will be ongoing and constructive and forever, because that is a life that you signed up for. Now you didn't sign up for a 9-to-5, you signed up for a 24/7 you. And there's something very empowering about you being able to make those decisions that is somewhat of a lifestyle that, yet it has bigger downfalls than a 9-to-5, but its upside is completely limitless.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, you guys got to realize this. Right now, you guys, I'm still hearing it. I've been hearing this since March. COVID this, COVID that. My man's bringing up COVID. a lot of you, again, this whole COVID thing, it shook a lot of you. It freaked me out. It freaked everybody out. I get it. It's been a wild year. COVID, unforgettable. You will never forget the year 2020. Out of all the years in your life, you'll be like, ever thinking about 2020 because of all of this. That being said, guys, what did you do though? How did you let this affect you? Because if you can make it through this, if you made it through this, congratulations. If you're suffering and you got hit from this, maybe that's a learning lesson. Nobody expected this. Again, everybody did get hit, but there's some people who capitalized. There's some people who took the blow a little less. They didn't really get knocked out. It wasn't a Nate Robinson for these people. Some people got straight Nate Robinson this year, man. Other people would just hate it. So
why are you out for the count, man? You have it's corny, so full 9, get back up 10. But it's really like
yes, hey.
No, but it's true. It's absolutely true, man. And everybody shares in the misery that this year has brought us, but it is absolutely no excuse for you to topple over.
There's no excuse. Listen, if you woke up this morning, there's no reason for you to tap. All right, so listen. My man's talking about making decisions. Man, make the decision. That's the problem with a lot of people. Would you agree? People can't make decisions. You guys got to understand. Any great person makes decisions. Period.
Not only that, clear decision. You need to make clear decisions. Can't be flippity floppity. Yes or no with conviction. Say it with your chest, man.
No gray areas.
Exactly.
Hey. And on top of this, we're talking about mediocrity. Like, yo, you guys, like, the world is full of mediocre, average. And if you want to be average, that's cool. But
yeah, man, I know a lot of people.
That just means what? What does it mean? Like, I like that. Like, there's so many things. What do you say, man? What do you think?
I was saying that when it comes to that, like coming from the neighborhoods that I come from, Washington Heights, we have how a lot of the higher generation, like a lot of our parents, we like to blame the things that we didn't have growing up per se on our parents, and then hey, it comes to a point where you're the one that's responsible. And people I know my age, I'm 27, people still blame their parents for that their life isn't the way that they want it to be, and I'm like, let me tell you something. A long time ago, it was all on you.
Right.
It was completely all on you. And accountability and holding yourself accountable is one of the most important gifts you can give yourself. Is to truly rate yourself in a way that's not even biased to yourself. Like, hey, if you're not getting the job done and you're upset that somebody else is getting it, well then, what excuse do you have? And my whole thing is, hey, I'm the type of person that I like a little fire under my ass, 100%. Now, some people like to be baby through the process. I guess that's just my style. There's a style for everybody, but I truly sometimes wake up and think, why am I not there? Why don't I understand the politics? If you really truly want to see, you have to understand the politics that are surrounding your job. You have to create short-term, long-term plans. You're not winging anything, and you have to be tedious to the fact we're like as a person that's looked upon that does fitness. I count macros and calories. Everything to the tedious T, because everything I like to do has purpose to me. There is no wasted motion. I don't like to live a life that you just hang out with somebody because what are you contributing? And if it's true friendship, then that's a great answer. But I'm not just no wasted efforts. It's just has this year not taught us that life is far too short to just be living the day by day like that? You have to have a plan of action, man.
You gotta have a fucking plan of action, bruh. Listen, hey, too many people. Hey, man, this might be the wake-up call you all needed today. Honestly, like some of you just wake up with no plans. No idea how the day is gonna go. And that's literally, we talked about it time and time again, that you're literally just as good as a dry leaf in the wind at that point. I mean, listen, some people have the ability, the talent, the gift, the knack, the lifestyle where, okay, sure, they go with the flow and they have this and that going on, but still, they have some type of picture in mind for the most part. You guys got to realize, when we're dealing with time, we all have the same amount. knowledge. The more you know, the higher your intelligence. My man Anthony is bringing up some points, and it's just when you talk, you know, you're able to connect with people, right? So the things that we're bringing up in these shows is so that we can connect with you. We've all been through these situations. You guys got to realize this, though. Like Anthony said, it comes down to you, right? It's the accountability. Like you guys, and what he's saying in other words is, you got to basically put in the repetition. You have to put in effort. You have to contribute. You have to give. You have to do something, right? Because too many people right now are expecting results. They feel like they deserve results, but what did you even do? There's no
because they think they're good people, and they think that because they're good people that life should just bless them with no.
Right.
What does Ronnie Coleman say? The bodybuilder, he says everybody wants to be big, but nobody wants to lift no heavy ass weights. Yeah, that's what it is, man.
There's a million ways. There's a million examples of this, you know. So it's like, you guys, anybody, what do you want to do? You want to be a famous this, and that? I don't care what it is that you guys want to do. Do whatever you want to do, but you have to realize, be great at it. You have to be great at it. You have to become eclectic and a master of it. Put in the time, the effort, the hours, and then the results come, man. These one-hit concept, these one bit, like you guys might need to do a million things until you hit a home run. You know, some of you might need to quit what you're doing right now because it's not working. I'm gonna be the person to tell you these things because, like, yo, and it doesn't mean give up on your dreams. Because, like, some of you, again, need that fire under your ass. Some of you need to kick in the ass. Some of you need that slap in the face. Some of you need it because you're wasting time. Like, what's working for you? What's not working for you?
Yes, sir.
Figure that out. You know what I mean? And if you really believe, and if you really have the faith, and you really have the clear decision made, well, then you're all in at that point. Then you're all in, and then everything else comes. But too many of you are just half-assing it. Like Anthony was saying, you're living in this gray area, and where you don't even realize or really know what you're trying to do, or where you're at, or what it takes. That's you got to know what it takes. And then you got to have what it takes. So, man, so many things right here that are just being brought up. Oh yeah. So look,
yes, sir.
Self-improvement. We're talking about blame. Like, dude, what would you say right now is the number one thing that people use as a scapegoat or blame for, you know, their fucking, you know, failure ultimately, or their, you know, lack of progression, or, you know, lack of reaching their potential? What would you say is the number one thing people are blaming right now, dude?
You know what? People like to blame a lack of guidance. But people don't understand that a lot of these things come out, like, I don't understand it. Just like how you say that us and the people we most idolize, per se, have the same amount of time. Leonardo DiCaprio does not have 56 hours to years 24. The only thing is, he has been developing a skill for such a long time in an era where he had dominated his first 40 auditions, zero appeal. You know, handsome little kid and everything, it didn't matter. He didn't always even see outright success. He had to earn it through the stepping stones that it took for him to be where he was. So people like to hit that top as acting, but they don't want to do student films because they don't want to feel like, you know, I'm above this. I'm like, no. You need to get in back of line and understand that there are a lot of little baby steps that it takes to get really anywhere. If you're a true singer, you have to be willing. Are you willing to sing on the subway? Or you really want to be a famous TikToker? Let's say you want to be a TikToker. What are the 3 video concepts you're posting today? Like, tell me. If you really want it, then really tell me, because it takes this. You don't just do anything you want on TikTok and get millions and millions of followers without having a tedious game plan. You don't just become an actor without having some type of great reel to get some type of great representation, to get better representation, and then eventually you get into those rooms that are hard to come by. But people say, oh, I couldn't be in a movie in a year. I failed. I'm like, wait a minute. You have to believe in the system, in the processes that are there in order for you to learn the tools for you to be that great. And that goes with everything. Like I'm pretty sure you as a podcaster, you know the top 10 podcasters that have an influence on you that you listen to, that you find some way to absorb what they're doing right in order for you to find your own flavor in how you want to do it, right?
Of course, that's
100%.
100%, man. You got to study the greats.
100%.
You got to know. You got to know. And you know what? I'm glad. I'm just gonna pause you right there, man, because again, some of you might need to run this back. At this point, I strongly suggest and I highly recommend that you just reset. You just play this from the top. Zero. Go back to the beginning of this.
Bro. I think I need to hear it back myself, man. That's just a lot.
Some of you might need to just listen to this 10, 20 times, period. Now, listen, we're talking about so many things. Guidance. Who are you listening to? Where are you where are you deriving your guidance from? Is it God? Is it yourself? Is it your family? Is it your friends? Is it some mentor? Is it figure it out. You got to know where are you getting it from and why, and then realize, yes, we all have the same amount of time. Again, this is I have to touch on the time topic a couple times, bro, because people don't understand time. They don't think about. They just think they have forever, bro. You do not have forever. I mean, sure, you can create an immortal legacy and maybe you'll respawn in the next reincarnation. Believe what you want. I'm talking about on a practical sense, right? As far as we really know, like, bro, on this third dimension right now today, you cannot take your time for granted. You do not know that you even have tomorrow, yet alone the next hour. It's just this concept. It's just it's a fairy tale that you tell yourself. Like, oh, I'll just wait. And God willing, we all live a long, prosperous life. But the point here I'm making is, like, you need to capitalize on the moment right now. What are you doing every second? So it's like, work on your skills. Okay.
Yeah, man.
The more you learn, the more you earn.
Easily say, oh, sorry.
What's that?
No, I would say you could easily say, I don't have time. Well,
that's just an excuse.
Your hour commute. Maybe you could read a book. Maybe you can find a way to be productive. Edit a video.
Yeah. Boom.
Don't just sleep, or something, or hear music.
And that's the thing right there. That literally ties in I got a couple more things, man. It's like some of you you got to just get rid of your ego. Some of you, because there's your thoughts, there's the real you, there's who you should be, there's the future you, there's the past you, and there's concepts of you who people and you have this ego about you. Not like, no one has one, but everybody has to realize and be able to control the ego. And then what this transitions to is the ability to be humble and have humility. Like Anthony is saying, you want to be this, and that, and all this, but then put in the groundwork, be willing to eat shit, or however you want to phrase it. But like, you guys, some of you, too much ego, too much pride, and you're just like, nobody even knows you. Like, you guys have all these unrealistic expectations for yourself, but it's like, the marketplace, and that ties right. I put this in a symbol. It's like awareness. Are you even aware of yourself, your place, and your position in the world, in your industry, your marketplace, and your competition? So you got to have a plan, got to have a vision, and you got to be able to know the process, the system of it all. And Anthony, man, I'm gonna let you continue, bro, because that's just what I took away from what you were saying. You know what I mean? Some of you might need to run it back right now again. Like, I don't even say this every time, bro. I've done a bunch of these podcasts. You guys know me by now. If I'm telling you to run it back, this is just like, it's at this point, man. If you guys haven't already, comment below.
1 second, bro.
Let us know what questions you have. What are you taking away from this episode? What do you have the most struggle with in life right now, in business, as an entrepreneur? What excuses are you telling yourself? What are some things you need to work on? What opportunities are presenting themselves to you? What decisions are you making? I mean, all of this podcast, and if you really sit down and again take these notes and really draw out a plan, which is fucking part of this podcast, guys, you can change your life starting today, right now. Like, this is an entire paradigm shift. So, are you back with us?
Yes.
Anthony's back with us, guys. He's back with us. You know, we got some more time, and here's how I want to take this, man. I want to take this to the next level. So, moving forward into the future, right? Yes, it's important to realize where we're at today, but true success lies in, you know, having the plan, being able to see all the way to the end. So, Anthony, where do you see, you know, yourself and your dreams? You know, where do you see yourself in the next, let's say, 5 years? Because I'm working on a 5-year plan. So where do you see yourself now, knowing that you know all this? Where do you know, what is your plan, and how do you plan on, you know, what's your idea of impact? Like, what is your impact going to be?
Right. Okay. That is a great question, Henry. I believe when it comes to my 5-year plan, I always said you have to create attention for that next tier, for that next. So basically, every little thing that I do improves me as a commodity.
Hey, can you fix your audio? There we go. Sounds better.
Sounds better?
Yeah, there you go. So yeah. Wait, now you're completely muted out. Hold on, run it back. There we go.
Yeah?
That's
Better now?
super better. Way better. 100%.
Okay, awesome. So in my 5-year plan of short-term and long-term goals, I want to improve myself as a commodity. The thing is, you have to always want the attention to the next level of people, right? So my whole thing is, there's a criteria. There's little goals that lead up to the bigger goal. So for example, I can say that if I wanted to improve my branding on Instagram, and I wanted to then have my acting jobs have a bit more publicity or have more buzz around them, well, then there are other avenues to growing Instagram to grow my status of a celebrity and things like that. And that doesn't always include directly acting. It can be other avenues. It can be by me being a creative. It can be by me creating content. But by me creating content, I am in fact helping myself reach that higher goal by
Right.
being a sub 10% body fat, and me being a lot more submerged in my fitness journey. That goal in and of itself helps me create content and helps me with that final vision of being a professional, sustainable actor. So as you can see, it's not all about scripts. There are a lot of other avenues that I use to say, okay, Anthony, how do I get to that next level? And the next level is always to have higher in my field, in this field, is to have better representation. It's to have people that are bringing, that are in charge of those very important rooms where decisions are made, and you have to keep impressing people to step up in that ladder. So my whole thing is, I should never stay with the same representation for a year. I should go, trial them, move on. How do you do that? You create buzz, you create anticipation, you create interviews such as these, and you have chance to tell your story to people. So that's basically what it is. It's to improve every little area of my life, because they all work together in me having that final goal of being able to work on set professionally for as like my entire livelihood. And if that even includes, you know, doing commercial work, when my dream is to be a legit actor on TV shows and whatnot, well, then those are the stepping stones that I need to take to get my name more and more out there. It's a volume game. Henry, if 1 million people knew about your podcast, just knew about it, regardless if you were great or not, 200,000 would immediately follow you. It's a volume game, and I understand that. And it's a golden age for social media, and I am using everything to my advantage. You know, and that is, again, and like you said, it's a daily tedious maintenance of all aspects of my life that lead up to that goal.
Boom. Drops the mic. Flex, drop a bomb on it. Listen, some of you, first of all, listen, man. Some of you need to interview yourself. I'm going to say that. Some of you need to hold a straight interview to yourself in the mirror right now, today. Go, not on some psycho, nothing on, you guys got to just do the work, man. You guys got to do the personal development. You guys got to just do the introspective improvement, okay? Like that's really where it's all going to begin for you. You know, the inner world, you know, booms and it'll manifest into your outer world. Some of you have all of this. Your inner world's not on point. It's not built. So how are you going to build anything in the exterior world? I just don't. Can we talk about that for a sec, bro? Like, do you? Because I see so many people right now, bro. Like just wanting. They just want shit. Like they just want things. But it's like they didn't pay the price, bro. Like you gotta pay the price. You have to. What's your take on that, man?
I'll tell you the problem, man. The problem is we don't get to ever hear the full story of those people that, remember, I brought up J. Cole and I brought up Big Sean for a reason, because they're widely seen as, look, but it could happen overnight for them. No. Let's think about that really quickly. They have been rapping their entire lives for that moment, for them to have capitalized on the opportunity. You're not just going to be discovered on the street like that. But that's not how it happened. Did you hear what they told them?
Right.
Did you hear what it took for them to figure out where these megastars were of Jay-Z and Kanye West to know how to perform in front of them? So I think if people misconstrue overnight success with something where these people have underdeveloped skills, these people were meant to be there. These people are fantastic rappers, fantastic artists. And and it's just like how you said, you have to be willing to do your best when Jay-Z and Kanye aren't there. Because many times they were in their mirrors telling themselves, yo, I need to come up with a better spit, better rhyme. Because one day, I'm gonna have Jay-Z in front of me and I'm not gonna screw it up. You feel me? So that's the way I see it. The way I see it is that all these
100%.
stories, people make us feel like it could just happen out of nowhere. Like, no. It does not just happen out of nowhere. And these people deserve to be there.
You guys think that exactly? And this is just one example. Some of you don't even realize the things we say can be like transmuted or transposed into various metaphors, analogies, industries, concepts. Bottom line here is like, yo, if you just make a song, let's say you're Jay-Z or whoever, right? Bro, the whole, your fan base is not going to just be a million people the next day. Like, it all starts with one person who heard your song.
You have to be willing to make those 5 people, and all you want is to make those 5 people
steps. I mean, listen, though, I'm not going to defy the point. I do believe in quantum physics and quantum leaps. I do believe you can make huge changes, but you guys are just thinking like you can just skip steps. Some of you need to run this back, man. Some of you need to run this back because it's just vital. It's vital information. It's crucial to your life. You guys, it's a volume game. It's a numbers game. That means you got to be able to expand. You got to be able to get in front of people. You got to get out of obscurity. Like the planet it's massive. Man, there's so many people.
There's so many people that want what you want too. You have to find ways to stand out, and you have to develop. You have to know yourself to develop yourself, right?
It's a golden age, though. Like my man is saying, it's a golden age. Okay, you can get your piece. Okay, so don't let what we're telling you, have any type of negative connotation. This is supposed to be motivational for you guys. It's not necessarily going to be easy, though. We're going to be keeping it real with you. We're going to be just dropping the value and the truth on you. Okay, anybody who tells you, oh yeah, you can just get rich quick, or you can just, buy your way into, bro, it's all of you. No. It takes levels of thought, levels of work, levels of training, levels of expansion, delegation. I mean, the list goes on. You heard the podcast. This is just part of the recipe. You guys, every day, capitalize. Anthony, back to you, bro.
No, man. I definitely really like what you said before about consciousness, because not being aware of the energy you're putting out there can be so incredibly fatal. Because again, if you're dealing with numbers and you're dealing with people, and if these are just a field, eventually you're going to need.
Hey, speak up, speak up.
Oh,
There
now?
you go. Yes, sir. Way better.
Cool. And you're gonna need in these artistic fields, you're going to need, or business field, you're gonna need some type of validation where numbers can't always cut it. So you always have to work on improving yourself as a person as well, to be, to show empathy and be kind of things like that. Like I'm not telling you to be a total complete freak, hardworking maniac without also developing the people skills and like remembering where you came from in order to do things for the right reasons also. Like everybody I know that just say, I want to be famous, I'm like, you're going to get that and you're going to be incredibly upset that it's not what you turned out to be, because you're going into whatever you're going to for the wrong reasons. But when you go in there and say, hey, I just love to do this and I know that this is a part of it, so I'm preparing myself for it, I'm like, hey, that's great, because life is full of compromises. And you're not always gonna get everything great from everything that you put through. So you have to understand that there are positives and negatives to every career path. All these people, all these famous successful people also have crazy successful problems as well. Like everybody has situations and problems, and you always have to be willing to compromise these things.
100%. So that being said, you guys, you got to think about this. You guys got to think about this, okay? Think about this. My man said that the energy you put out is fatal. That you have to be conscious of the energy that you're putting out, because it's. Some of you don't even understand that we're dealing with energy. First of all, some of you think this is just some type of game, like this life is just some free for all. Right? This right here is the foundation to everything. I truly believe everything is true. Truthfully, that's what I believe, bro. I believe that, any level, it's 90% energy, spirituality, and then 10% skill and work ethic and all these other things. But I really believe most of it has to do with, like my man says right here, the energy that you're putting out into the universe. And some of you who just not even aware of this, dude,
it comes right tenfold, man.
No, bro, but not everybody's meant for this lifestyle, man. If these concepts that we're explaining to you are if they seem foreign, if you can't register the words that, that's okay. I'm rooting for you. We want you to win. But it's like, bro, I'm just gonna be again. Not everybody is gonna make it, and that's simply because not everybody's gonna do what it takes. And that's up to you. So you got to decide now, am I going to do what it takes, or am I not? Because that's it. Now, whatever it is you do, realize, like my man said, there's going to be positives and negatives. There is no utopia in anything. There is no ultimate salvation of just no stress, no problems, no issues, no conflicts. Bro, this is life. This is economics. This is what we're dealing with. So you're gonna have bumps and hiccups along the way. You're gonna have obstacles, so just know what you're getting yourself into. Anthony, man, back to you.
Great, man. No, I think it's I think I really like when you said that there is no utopia that you're kind of looking in towards. Like really know, but that comes with your purpose. That comes with really know why you're doing this. And what about it really makes you passionate? What about
that ties into the whole thing with validation. Let me just bring that up real quick, because he brought it up earlier. And some of you some of you looking for instant gratification, looking for instant validation. I'm just gonna let you ponder on that for a second, man.
For sure, man. This whole thing should be called Run It Back.
This episode is officially called Run It Back. All right, because the whole thing here is like this. that I put this word in bold, right? I put quotes on it, man. Validation is a really strong topic because too many of you right now are just going through the day, going through the business, going through your relationships, and you're misconstrued. You guys don't have an understanding of what validation is and what it looks like and how to display it. Some of you are overdoing it, wanting too much of it, and the marketplace is like this. They're like, okay, well, are you really that great? Are you really that credible? Are you really that impactful? Are you really that beneficial? I mean, does your product really change the world? Does your service really solve a major dilemma? Like, how valid is what you got going on? The relationships you're in. Like, are you really, into this person for the right reasons? Is it truly fundamental to your core, to your moral standards, to your vision, to your purpose, or are you just in it for the moment? No, what are you guys doing? And you're validating yourself, you're false validating yourself, and it's like, yo, the world is not. This all boils down to what I want to tell you. Warren Buffett's business partner, Charlie Munger, says, the world is not yet a crazy enough place to reward a bunch of unrewarded people. Essentially, so like that this is really the underlying theme of this whole podcast in a way, because you're not going to get validation before you have the value, unless you have the value. That's just how I see it, man. Like it's got to be true. Like perceived value is really where we could take it, bro. Perceived value, like, let's talk about that, bro. Perceived value, because that literally brings us right back to the beginning of this podcast when he's talking about actors, actresses. Maybe some of you are trying to be the next movie star. Maybe you're trying to be a musician. Maybe you're trying to be an athlete. Anywhere you go, any platform, it's all an arena. It's a stage. Wherever you're at, you're getting judged. People are looking at you, watching you, throwing up numbers inside of it and looking at, where you rank at. So it's like, okay, if you're an actor, you're an actress, how much do you compare? Do you weigh into everybody else? It's literally to the point now where you have to figure out who you are first and foremost.
And even just as important that when they say that something that's very empowering when you walk into the audition room is that, they want you to be the next Michael B. Jordan. They want you to be that person. You're not calling you in because they want you to fail. They want you to do well. And not only that, but it should be empowering to think that all these careers are very non-linear. Anything can happen, because at the end of the day, nobody can be a better Anthony than Anthony, and nobody could be a better Henry than Henry. There's no actor, bro, that could come into your studio and do what you do better, because only you know how to do it. And that, in artistic endeavors or even in athletic endeavors, should be the most empowering thing. Because I also think that
100%.
something that is very important to know is the fact that you are going to receive, for anything that you do right, you're gonna come across a lot of people that don't. Because people generally, if you get to a place that's admired, which is where everybody wants to be, because everybody at the end of the day, they do want respect from the people that matter. You're always going to be heavily criticized and critiqued anytime you do anything well, and you have to expect that. It's not one of those roles that is like, oh, because I'm a good person, we're going to talk. No. You're going to put yourself in a position to be scrutinized. Just like Henry, you're going to be judged by your peers. It's just the way the world works. The world of numbers. It's the world of competition. But you have to understand why you're doing it. As long as you remember the foundation of why you even start and how far you've come. Well, you're like, you know what? I don't care what you think. I think I'm doing a great job. And I think I'm doing my thing. And my idea of success, Henry, is when I value someone else's opinion over myself, and like they're right, like I don't know if I'm saying it wrong, but the idea of success to me, I feel that way, is when the people that really matter to me feel that way about me. That's when, like, I think I got there. you know, but that also comes with you being able to realize it.
1,000,000%. See, key thing here, right? I was like, okay. When it comes to life, you are always going to be judged and criticized. Like this is what it all started with, guys. You guys are too fucking afraid. And that's one thing I wanted to bring up earlier. It's like, yeah, there's going to be fears, but my man even said it himself. Don't be afraid. Just because there's fear doesn't mean you got to be afraid. Just think about that for a second. Like, you guys are going to get criticized regardless of what you do. So it's like some of you are not making the moves you should because you're fucking afraid of the criticism. Some of you are hesitant and reluctant to put out your fucking gifts and your product and your services and your ideas to the world or your message because you're fucking afraid of criticism. Bro, the people who really make it on this planet do not give a fuck. Because
they're the most scrutinized.
They're the most scrutinized. And you guys got to understand this. Like, their purpose isn't to, like, their main thing is not like, I want to please every person in the world. That would be great. That would be amazing.
Right.
But the reality is, Jesus had haters. Like, everybody's going to have a hater or a critic who's not partial to them. And that's okay. That's a part of life. You don't have to go about your entire journey on this world trying to please everybody. There's enough people for you to work with, to help, to service, and to capitalize on, where it'll be a mutually beneficial situation. And then everybody who's not involved or against it, great. Congrats. Like, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. That's part of life. That's how it goes. So it's like this whole concept of admiration. Like, where do you see? I always ask people this, man. Like, because this kind of does tie into what you're saying. I've been wanting to ask you this whole time, but it's like I didn't know when the best time to ask it was. So this seems like the best time. And I was like, with acting, you know, being in that field, for example, there comes this concept where you want to you want to be famous, right? Or you want this level of status, right? Or this level of notoriety or influence, or, you know, so that's kind of what I believe is a movie. Like, I want to be the next, you know, movie star. So how do you word and how do you perceive and how do you believe you know, fame and high levels of status and just public acknowledgement and things like that, the celebrity idea, you know, how do you think that plays into life, man? Its importance or non-importance or good parts, bad parts?
Oh, for sure. I think a lot of the thinking around it is something that it's actually not a very healthy thing to think about, because that's something you can't even anticipate. It's just a weird psychological thing to think of somebody that can't necessarily be human in a human world, which are sorry, there's like a noise here. I'll make it out of it. So yes, right. So it's kind of like,
which is weird because people just see you. Oh, I can't really hear you, bro. Can't really hear you yet.
Could you hear me now?
Yeah, it's weird because people idolize people, and then you see them and they run around at paparazzi and they chase them, and it's like, why?
Yeah, when you understand that
That's
lifestyle is actually very miserable. Barack Obama said the thing he misses most is being able to be in Central Park and look at people. Ain't that crazy? A man rich beyond his wildest dreams, and my whole thing when it comes to that is that no lifestyle is as cracked up as it seems. And yes, you'll make a lot of money and a lot of wealth, but there are a lot of people that cannot and do not take it well. And sometimes I see it as a necessary, but not really, you know, not really like something that I feel like human beings should look forward to. Yes, it brings a lot of influence, and that's what should matter. You know? When you think of, oh, look, millions of people know me. Okay, now I get to speak my piece. Now I get to give my perspective. Now I get to give my take. So that's why you should want that position of power. Not for anything else that it gives you, because honestly, like I said, most celebrities call it miserable. They cannot live normal lives. But what they do like is that when they do have a strong opinion, people are there to listen. And I think that is something that you think, wow, if I'm able to reach all these people, and then I do bring up topics that are close to my heart, like social, mental awareness, health problems or things that I do. I'm like, I would love to have that influence, because who wouldn't? So I think influence is a driving factor to say, hey, this is what happens if you do get really good at it. And one of the ways that you could positively, say, hey, you never say, I want to be famous one day. You say, hopefully one day I'm able to reach all these people so that I can make the most out of my situation.
Straight fire. So as we wrap this up, man, I want you guys to really just reflect on what you just heard. Okay, what is the concept of success to you? What does it mean to be successful? Why? Right. I mean, key things. I mean, there's just too many things that we talked about in this that you gotta just run it back.
Run it back.
Run it back. So you guys just really think about it. Ask yourself, socially, mentally, what are you doing things for? Why are you? Why? It really does start with why. So figure that out. Why are you doing what you do? Why do you want what you want? And realize, like Anthony says, life is not always, as they say, greener on the other side. Like the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It might not be. So you have to know what you're getting yourself into, because there's going to be sacrifices. There's going to be things that come up that maybe you wish didn't, or that you could wish you could have went back in time. So really, really do your best to be conscious, to be aware of what you're getting yourself into. Know the outcome as much as possible. I know you guys, you don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers, but don't go into things super blind, unprepared, right? Be prepared. So many things we talked about in this podcast. Run it back. And
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what influences you, right? And what influence do you want to create, right? What do you want to be remembered for? It's really what I like to ask people. Anthony, any last words, man? Any shout outs you want to give? Any acknowledgements?
Oh man, no, I just wanted to give a shout out to all the people that have supported me to get to this point. I do not take your trust in me lightly, and I will just keep on blazing through and just keep exceeding my own expectations and the expectations of the world. And just a big shout out to my mentor, Brian Patterson, who has taught me all of the fundamentals that which we're talking about today. Henry, thank you for having me on, man. It was a great time. Definitely like-minded people, man. Thank you.
100%, man. That's how the world works. And it's been a pleasure speaking with you, man. I really am looking forward to seeing, your success, your manifestations, your progress, your life become the best it possibly can. And ladies and gentlemen, as always, stay happy, healthy, wealthy, blessed, and focused on success. And when you see us drop another episode, you already know what to do. Tap in. Until next time, peace and love, prosperity.
Thank you, Henry. Have a good day, man.
Thank you. You too, brother.